All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're tackling something every developer knows, the sometimes chaotic world of asynchronous JavaScript. We're going to give you the tools to go from total chaos to complete control.
So here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about that async juggling act we all do. Then we'll get into the good stuff, mastering multiple promises. After that, it's all about building code that just doesn't break. And finally, how to handle those errors like an absolute pro when they do happen.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Look, every single one of us has been there, right? That feeling when you're trying to manage a million things happening at once in your code. It's just a universal problem in modern development. You know the drill. Your app is trying to fetch user data, and at the same time, it's grabbing related posts from a totally different place. Oh, and it's also supposed to be listening for clicks and running a timer. It just feels chaotic, and it gets messy really, really fast. So look, the power of async is incredible. We don't want to avoid it. The real key is to learn how to control it, right? The goal isn't to stop juggling. It's to become a master juggler. So let's check out the tools that'll get us there.
All right, now for the solutions. We're going to start with the tools that are already built right into JavaScript, the ones designed to help you handle a bunch of promises all at once. Because really, it's all about knowing which tool to grab for the job at hand. Let's talk about Promise All. Just think of it like this. You're throwing a party, and you can't start until all your friends have arrived. If even one of them can't make it, well, the whole party's off. It's a total all-or-nothing situation. And that's the big thing to remember here. It fails fast. This is great when you need a bunch of data that all depends on each other, but you gotta know the risk. One single promise fails, and the whole thing just stops dead in its tracks.
Okay, so Promise All is forgetting everything. But what if you don't need everything? What if you just need the first thing to finish, the fastest response you can get? Well, for that, we have promise.race. Yeah, this one is literally a sprint to the finish. We don't care about anyone else in the race. All that matters is who crosses that finish line first. And it doesn't matter if they won the race, a resolution, or if they tripped and fell, a rejection. First one to finish wins. And this is super useful for things like timeouts. Think about it. You can literally race your real API request against a simple timer promise. If that timer finishes first, you know your API is taking too long, and you can jump in and handle it. So this table kind of breaks it all down. You've got all and race. But check out that third one, promise.allSettled. This one is your secret weapon, your safety net. It never rejects. It just waits for everything to be done, and then it gives you a neat little report card. This one passed, this one failed. It's perfect for when you have to know what happened to every single operation, win or lose. Okay, so those are the built-ins. Now let's take it a step further. We're going to move beyond just using what's there and start building our own patterns. Patterns that are designed to handle the messy, unpredictable real world of networks and servers. I mean, let's be real. What happens when the network is flaky or some server out there is just having a bad day? You can't control that. But what you can control is how your code reacts. It can be smart, and the first tool for that is the retry pattern. The logic is just so simple, but man, is it powerful. Your code makes a call, it fails. Instead of just giving up, it says, whoa, hold on, let me wait a second and just try it again. And you can even get fancy with it and wait a little longer each time you retry. That gives a struggling server a chance to catch its breath. Honestly, this should be your go-to move anytime you're dealing with a flaky API or an unstable network. It just makes your app feel so much more reliable to the user because it smooths over all those little network hiccups that would normally just be an annoying error. And here's that timeout pattern again. We touched on it with promise.race, but it's so important it deserves its own moment. This is what saves your users from that nightmare scenario. You know the one, staring at an infinite loading spinner because some API request just went off into the void and never came back. So, at the end of the day, this isn't just about writing clever code. It's about respecting your users' time. You're basically drawing a line in the sand and saying, I'm not going to make you wait forever. And that creates a way better experience. Okay, we've built some seriously tough patterns to try and prevent errors. But let's face it, errors are going to happen. They always find a way. So now we need to talk about what to do when they do get through and how to handle them gracefully so a tiny bug doesn't crash everything.
Just think about it for a second. One single error, one little unhandled promise rejection in some tiny corner of your app, it can bubble all the way up and bring the entire application down. The whole thing. We can stop that with a really cool strategy called an error boundary. The idea here is awesome. An error boundary is basically like a fire extinguisher for your component. If a fire starts in one little part of your UI, the boundary puts it out right there. It contains the damage so it doesn't spread and burn down the whole app. The rest of your application can just keep on running. And there you have it. This is basically your asynchronous JavaScript cheat sheet. We've got promise.all, race, and all settled for managing multiple requests. We've got the retry and timeout patterns for building resilience. And we've got error boundaries for containing failures. This is everything you need to go from that async chaos to total control. So we've shown you the toolkit. We've walked through the patterns for taming that async chaos. Now the power is really in your hands. The question is, what amazing, unbreakable apps are you going to build? The next step is all yours. Thanks for watching The Explainer.